Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm out here on the outskirts of Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, for a special reason, and it's for this monster right next to me. This is it. This is a 2023 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392, and on top of that, it's the 20th anniversary edition. But before we get into this mean green muscle car version of a Jeep, let's talk about what's going on here. Jeep. They've been doing the business with the Wrangler for 20 years. Crazy to think how that vehicle has become a cult classic favorite, and it really is part of its own unique club within the auto enthusiast community. Now, over the years, we have seen different power plants in Jeep, but one thing that a lot of Jeep fans wanted to see a comeback was the mighty V8 engine. We're going towards electrification. There's already the Jeep Wrangler 4xe that you could get, that plug-in electric hybrid. But what's special about this Rubicon 392 is that number, 392 cubic inch naturally aspirated V8. But what I want to find out is, if you're looking for a muscle car version of an off-road vehicle, is this the better way to go over, say, a Bronco Raptor? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our Sarge Green, that's the name of the color, Sarge Green Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392 20th edition, anniversary edition, and find out. Right off the bat, the color. When I was a kid, growing up in the 80s, playing with my G.I. Joes, this was something that as an adult, I would aspire to want to be behind the wheel of, and definitely something that you would see one of the Joes, not this Joe necessarily, but one of the G.I. Joes behind the wheel of this thing. Up front, you're going to see some differences from some of the other Wrangler Rubicon 392s that we have brought to you here on Rady's Rides. First of all, of course, you're going to get that Sarge Green color on the fenders. Love the way they do all the LED lighting right there on that bottom portion of the front fenders. And then of course, as you come across that center area, you're not only going to get full LED headlights, still in that classic round form. I like the way they do the gunmetal gray inside the bezel area, but what you're also going to get is the upgraded. This is actually the grille that is going to be on all 2024 Wranglers. It's here first on this 20th anniversary edition. So there's your 7-slotted grille. A lot of people believe that it all goes back to Jeep going on all 7 continents, including Antarctica. And you'll notice we have a massive forward-facing camera with a front washer. Now, if you're wondering to yourself, well, Joe, this grille looks like it's a little bit higher. Believe it or not, this anniversary edition, 20th anniversary edition Rubicon 392 has an additional half-inch lift. So you're getting 2 inches just going Rubicon 392, but then you're getting another half-inch above that. Now, when we drop down, I love the way you're gonna have steel, that hurts, steel bumpers, both at the front and the back. I like the way they carve out all that plastic that sometimes you find on other Wranglers. You do have LED fog lamps, and I like the way that they keep with that nice round headlight housing. Instead of doing something kind of futuristic or freaky, there's no reason to go freaky with this Jeep Wrangler 392. Now, on the 392 only, you're gonna get these copper tow hooks. That's where you're gonna pull out all the lesser vehicles, including the Bronco Raptor. And if you think I'm trying to start stuff, yes, I'm stirring the pot. That's what I like to do, especially when we're behind a vehicle like this. Now, you'll notice, unique to the 20th anniversary, you're getting the triple hoop brush bar design, much different than what you could get on your standard Wranglers, and really taking that strength from the steel. We drop all the way down and you could see the clear open space. I mean, we're talking about over 13 inches of ground clearance because of that extra half-inch lift. You're gonna have your 2-speed transfer case. You got different gearing out back in the rear gear housing. And then of course, the suspension. You got your stabilizer bars that are disconnectable to where you could disconnect those sway bars when you're going rock crawling. And You'll also notice just with the wider track, the space in between the front wheels, just how you're going to be able to have a greater approach angle, departure angle, and full metal skid plates front to rear. Now, as we rise back up, functionality is the name of the game. We got that nice muscle car bulge. Even though this is a Jeep, we got the muscle car bulge, functional hood scoop. You could go through water in this thing, and I'm going to show you when we pop the hood, it actually has a system to siphon the water out so it doesn't get sucked into that big throttle body for the V8 underneath the hood. Love the way for the 20th anniversary edition, you have this very nicely done anti-glare strip. So it's got the 20th anniversary. I'm going to switch places with Steven a little bit. 20th anniversary badge. And remember that copper bronze trim is specific to the 392. As we come around, Steven's going to give you a close-up of that badge. Love the way it looks like it just pops right off the hood. And then as we come around the bend, what do we got going on? Wheel and tire setup. Bead-lock is the name of the game. So when you're doing that heavy rock crawling, when you're doing that heavy off-roading that Jeeps are known for, you're going to get these nicely done bead-lock wheels, 17-inch wheel, wrapped in those BF Goodrich all-terrain TA KO2 tires. This is going to allow you to grapple better than any of the MMA fighters out there as you're going off-roading. And you'll notice the massive shielding that they have all the way around on this 35-inch tire. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the overall dimensions of the tire? It's 315 on the width and a beefy 70 series sidewall on that 17-inch wheel. I'm gonna have Steven kind of see if he could swing around and show you the front shock absorber and suspension. You have that Fox racing suspension designed specifically for this Jeep. On the side of the hood, of course, that Rubicon badge. Rubicon, so much history just behind that name with the 20th anniversary. I even like the way they brought some of the anti-glare material for the side just to give it a little bit of extra something when you're going down the road. This is going to be it. If you like to have your good old-fashioned standard antenna on the side of the Jeep Wrangler, 2023 is the final year. For 2024, they're moving it to the windshield. So something to think about if you like this classic look. I'm not going to zonk it because, like I said, it really fits that G.I. Joe. I can see Snake Eyes right now behind the wheel of this thing trying to run over Destro and Cobra Commander as they're in some big fight. Down below, the Jeep badge with the Wrangler name there and the American flag. And then, of course, as you look at the side of this vehicle, the 392 is only available as a 4-door. Let me know how you feel about that if you like to see Jeep make a 2-door Wrangler Rubicon 392. But with the Sarge green, looks fantastic. We do have these frame sliders, also known as rock sliders, for that protection. This is how it comes from the factory with a nice powder coating. You have the ability of removing all 4 doors and our hardtop. And then working towards our rear, I like some of the little touches that they did. First of all, you're gonna get that great looking style. This is supposed to simulate what the fuel cans look like on the World War II GI Jeeps. And then even things like the Jeep Performance Parts badge, because we got some goodies on this I cannot wait to show you. If you're gonna go off-roading, you're gonna wanna have that spare nicely mounted. And then as we drop it down, full tow capability. Look at our exhaust. Slash cut double exit that is a active exhaust, so you can make it louder and piss everybody off, or you can make it quieter if you have to be a little bit more stealthy in this V8 beast. And then we have the quad tip exhaust on both sides, opens and closes, and then of course you have your copper bronze tow hook specific to the 392. But this thing is a mean, lean green machine. Let's go ahead, let's pop the hood and see the heart of this beast. Guys, just like the old school Jeeps at the early beginning, we do have a prop rod. Let me know how you feel about that. Like I said, there's certain things I'm willing to compromise when it all comes down to personality. And what's gonna make a lot of personality is what's underneath the hood. Now, before I show you, I do wanna introduce you to the Jeep Hydro Guide. How do I know it's called that? It actually says it right there, Jeep hydro guide. This is the system that while you're going through deep water, you could almost go through about 3 feet of water in this thing. It's a snorkel system to get the water to not run into the air box. So you see these little flappers? There's a system of flappers throughout the whole system so the water can escape and the air could go down into this opening, which would then go into the air box, and then you have your big, massive throttle body right there that leads to that intake plenum. And what do we got? We got the V8 goodness, the Mopar or no car, muscle car stuff going on. 6.4 liter Hemi V8 pumping out 470 horsepower. It's bolted to an 8-speed torque flight automatic transmission. Get ready for this. This vehicle weighs 5,259 pounds, but it does 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, quarter mile in 12.8 seconds at 105 miles per hour. The 20th anniversary one has 456 gearing out back, and of course, MPGs. If you care about this on this vehicle, my advice is plug your ears right now. You're not going to want to hear it, or get yourself a lifted Prius. 13 in the city, 17 on the highway. So not going to be the most fuel efficient, but man, is this thing going to do the off-road business. Why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this beast, put it in loud mode, and see what the hell we could scare out here in Michigan. Guys, when it comes to muscle car vehicles, Stellantis brings a ton of them. Of course, you got the Challenger, the Charger, the Ram TRX, and this bad boy Jeep 392 20th anniversary. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, the hell with it. I'm going to spend my retirement. I'm going to cash in some of my 401k. I don't have to worry about leaving my kids anything. Let them figure it out. I want one of these. How much is it? Very good question. MSRP, the way that this one is optioned, is right at $95,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. So you're going to notice that same usual Jeep clean style. Soft touch material. You got the silver on that Jeep size belt buckle of a door handle. And then I like the red stitching that you get with the Rubicon. That cargo net there on the door panel can easily fit 10 Twinkies, and the doors are removable for when you're ready to take those off. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, Rubicon gets the nice color touches. Red stitching, the red with some red stitching, and I like the way it's got the Wrangler oh crap handle. It should say that instead of Wrangler. It should say oh crap, or that other word that starts with an S and ends with an it. That would be fun for your passenger to hold on. Come on in. I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, where's the big infotainment system? The big infotainment system is not going to be available until next year for 2024. What do we have in the meantime? We have that same great 8.4-inch Uconnect 4 system. Say whatever you want about this screen and its size. I like the way it's integrated. The graphics are super clear, and it's very intuitive. Very fast reacting. You got 3 stages of heated seats, heated steering wheel. There's your backup camera. There's your forward facing camera with the washer. Pretty cool. What I would do is tell somebody, say, hey, can you check out my grill real quick? I think I have something stuck in it. And then when they go to look, that's when you splash them with the water. You got the trajectory, which is great. So when you're rock crawling and stuff, you can pay attention on the screen to what's going on in front of you. And then, of course, all the other screens, very easy to get to, including your AC, dual climate control. And if you don't like touching screens, like if you have a phobia with screens, guess what? Look at what we have here. Actual knobs, AC controls, the heated seats, the heated steering wheel. It's all here. Hill descent control. You could actually turn the screen off, which is kind of cool if you just want to focus and be in that off-road zen. Say you have like a rock right on your groin and you're trying to like be in that zen zone. You can shut off the screen or leave it on. Here's where you open or close the exhaust. We're going open, baby. All of your switchgear for the windows is inboard because we could take off the doors. Media, USB-C, USB-A, aux jack, 12 volt. I highly recommend a radar detector. And then down below, I'm gonna move the shifter out of the way for Steven. You have the ability to attach 4 different things, a winch, additional lighting, maybe one of those train horns, and then you just push the button instead of having some kind of jerry-rigged wire system. This is where you're gonna disable your roll bars. That gives you that rock crawling capability. It's got the good old-fashioned handle for your 4x4, 4 high, 4 low. Like the way Jeep still does that. This is what's going to control your Torque Flight 8-speed automatic. Look at the Rubicon 20th badge that they put there. Nice little touch. You even have a good old-fashioned e-brake with the red stitching, 2 cup holders, still the same great Jeep key fob. Spin it around, you're gonna wanna do this. What you do is if you're at the mall or something, which a lot of people are gonna be driving these around mall parking lots, you do the remote start, it'll scare the hell out of everybody. Super high, nicely padded armrest. Open it up, what do we have? Little tool set, this is to remove the roof panel. And then you flip this up and you have another USB-A in there and enough room, I would say, for about 42 G.I. Joe figures. Remember, they're not dolls, they're action figures with a combat grip. Close it up, seats, guess what? Not only they leather, they're Napa leather. Napa leather seats, very soft, Rubicon 392, love the two-tone. All the way down, of course, you're gonna have manual controls for the passenger and for the driver, but guess what? We have an additional 5 horsepower because of the red seat belts all the way around. And then remember, we also do have that power sliding cloth top. That's a nice, cool function. I do like that. I'm not gonna open it all the way. That's just gonna take up too much time, but nice to have that without having to remove the roof with all the tools. You can still do that, but it's nice just to hit the button. But why don't you come over here? I wanna show you behind the awesome steering wheel in this 392. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. I feel like I'm sitting on the top of Mount Everest because of the extra lift that this thing has. Plenty of room in here, and you know what? If you're Shaquille O'Neal and you just got done shooting the General commercial, the color of this really fits. Sarge, General, kind of close. You got that power top. You can actually put your head past the bar line for the roof as you're driving. Try it out, see if it works. But the seats are comfy. Love the steering wheels. Nice leather all the way around, actually 2-piece leather with the perforated, the red stitching, and then you do have metal paddles behind the wheel to go up and down the Torque Flight 8-speed automatic. My only zonk is I wish the paddles were longer, like a larger paddle like you would find on a Bronco Raptor. But what I think Jeep does so well is they give us a little bit of analog and a lot of digital. And what's great is with that large display in the center, you could scroll through a cornucopia of information, a plethora of information, more information than what you could find on the internet right at the touch of a button. Because look, watch, you go here, now I slide, look at all the gauges and stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Let's go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see how your passenger is gonna be holding on for dear life as you rock it 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds in this V8 beast. All right, guys, back seat time. And one of the things you just got to get a little used to in the Jeep is having your knees up a little higher than what I'm comfortable with, but I'll probably be driving you around on throttle and not being the actual passenger. The good news is you got lots of handles back here because as you're being thrown around, you're going to want to hold on for dear life or hold on with one hand and then hold on to the puke bag with the other. Now, backs of the seats, you got that ability to attach all sorts of doodads, tools, all sorts of things. Plus you have a little cargo net. Not my favorite because if you put a dagger, a blade of any type, it's gonna rip through here, but this is where you're gonna probably keep those barf bags. I do like the way you have the AC vents. You got your inboard switch gear for the rear windows, just like up front. And look at this, connectivity out the wazoo. 2 USB-Cs, 2 USB-As, and a home power source. You got a place down here for some Slim Jims. And I don't know if I would put anything down in these little containers. Maybe some Jolly Ranchers, but I feel like they're gonna bounce all over the place. But I'm telling you, the room back here is great. With that convertible top, it goes all the way back. And then you still get that same two-tone great interior in here. And then watch this. Look at that. Armrest and 2 cup holders. They got you covered. Let's see what they got for cargo space in this Jeep 392. All right, guys, cargo time. We already have it open because I want to show you some of the goodies that are specific to the 20th anniversary edition. First of all, you see that gray bag there? That's actually a 83-piece toolkit that's wrapped up in there, and it's clipped down so it's not going to slide all over the place. You do have the Alpine subwoofer in the back, nice large subwoofer to get some good sounds while you're off-roading. And of course you have another Jeep bag with other accessories. And what's nice is that everything locks into the back. Now, talking about the back, check out what's going on the door here. You actually have, this is the first time ever on a Jeep from the factory, a built-in air compressor. So you could air up and air down when you're going off-roading. And I love the way they put these plates here, especially the 20th anniversary one, showing the Rubicon and the dimensions of it. And of course, the good old US of A and American flag there. But very cool that they give you some of these extra touches. And remember, that's 28 cubic feet of space. And one little thing to remember, if you have a Jeep, especially if you never had one before, you always close this first, then you close the door. But if you're ready, I'm ready. We have 470 freaking horsepower in this thing. Let's go on throttle together and experience it. All right, guys, we're behind the wheel of this Wrangler Rubicon 392 20th anniversary. We got to start off with what? Yes, we got to start off with the on-throttle action. I'm just going to let the automatic, the Torque Flight does such a great job, and we're in 4 auto. So that means that the all-wheel drive or 4x4 system will just send that power where it is needed. But if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Nice shifts. I tell you, some people need to go to a theme park for some blasts, but this Rubicon 392 is its own theme park. It really has such a great sound from that naturally aspirated V8, and because the Jeep Wrangler has very little sound deadening material, it even sounds more amazing in here than a Dodge Charger, Challenger, or even the mighty Ram TRX. Now, what you'll notice if you are new to a Jeep is that the ride is going to be a little softer. There's just a tad more play in the steering, but that all comes down to what is the purpose of this Jeep. Even though it's got the 470 horsepower, and even though you could do the quarter mile in less than 13 seconds, this is meant for the off-roading. But I'm glad to be able to take it on-road because there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be driving these on-road, that's for sure. But visibility is great, and the sound, I mean, I could listen to this all day. On throttle, here we go. It's amazing how, guess what? You don't hear a lot of tire noise because the V8 is so loud. So you don't have to worry really about tire noise, even though you are on those 35-inch off-road tires, those BF Goodrich KO2 tires. It just drowns out the noise with that glorious V8 rumble. The interior, just like any other Wrangler, is absolutely stupendous. I love the way everything is easy to get to. It's easily laid out. The big zonk, if you're wondering, is there's no dead pedal. And that's something I've always been curious about. So if you know why Jeeps don't have a dead pedal, let me know in that comment section. If you're wondering, well, Joe, why do you care so much? A dead pedal is there not just to rest your foot, but to also brace yourself. And I'm telling you, this thing hits so hard off the line, I really am missing somewhere to put my foot as we're doing 0 to 60 in about 3.8 seconds. So that is the biggest zonk. I don't mind the 8.4 inch. If you need the bigger screen, like I said, wait until next year. They're gonna have the 10.25 inch screen that is exactly the same as the Dodge Hornet that we brought to you, the Dodge Durango, and those other new vehicles that are getting that new Uconnect 5 system. seats, the Napa leather is stupendous. And even though everything is manual adjustments, it's easy to get it kind of configured to your specific body type, that's for sure. But once again, here we go, drops down and we're off. And what's kind of amazing is that it really doesn't sway too much. Yeah, the nose is gonna point towards the sky, and yeah, when you get on the brakes, things are gonna kind of settle back down up front, but it's not as bad as you think. And around here in Michigan, Steve and I have been kind of joking that it's actually been the perfect vehicle for these ripped up roads, because I'll be honest, I never believed it until I actually drove on them. Michigan does have some absolutely terrible roads. Terrible roads. Ripped up, torn up, and everything in between. But just a vehicle that is not, if you're looking for something that makes sense, you're in the wrong vehicle. This vehicle is all about not making sense, and it's for the real true enthusiasts like a lot of you, and definitely this guy right here. The fact that you could still get a naturally aspirated V8, those days are definitely numbered. And the fact that it's got so linear of a torque delivery, I think that's the thing we forget. If you haven't been in a V8, I know lots of different vehicles have switched to V6s and 4-cylinder turbos and all that other stuff. This thing pulls so linear through the torque curve, it's like magical. And the Torque Flight 8-speed, it really is a great transmission. It's built by ZF, who's been doing transmissions before I was even born. So they really know how to do a performance transmission. Gauges, nicely displayed. And the fact that you can open up that top, which I'm gonna do soon, and let that V8 rumble come into the cabin, just makes it that much more special. All right, guys, we have the top open. Cool that it's all one button operation, very easy, and I want to hear this V8 rumble. Are you ready? Here we go. I tell you, it's worth the price of admission. I know it's $95,000, and I know, yes, your brothers, mothers, uncles, sisters, cousins, neighbor down the street can drop a V8 into their Wrangler right in their garage, but this is full under warranty with all the tech and everything in between. But I hope that this has been a nice overall review of this Wrangler Rubicon 392 20th anniversary. What a way to celebrate 20 years with this beast. But we're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a crazy kind of day out here in Detroit, Michigan. Definitely want to thank the whole Stellantis team for getting us access to this Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392 20th anniversary edition. Let me know what you think. Is this the perfect muscle car off-roader, or are you gonna go in a different direction? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. We got to give it up. Of course, Stephen Flood Photography. Remember, he does all sorts of filming of occasions, from weddings to bar mitzvahs to birthday parties and everything in between. Plus, he loves cars, so he does that too. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all your photography expertise. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.